guys, I'm just making a YouTube video today. I did the 100 heads in 10 days challenge. It's a challenge created by, I hope I'm not butchering his name, Almed Aldoori, or just Med's 100 heads, 10 heads a day challenge. And I just drew 10 heads a day. I didn't really focus so much on shading or coloring or really painting. I just kind of wanted to get an idea when I first started, and then slowly as the days progressed, I started to add more detail. I started to add more contrast. I started to experiment and work with like the drawing pencils I have. They're like 5 different pencils that I would draw with. I just draw something. Let me see. Okay. I did 4B, 6B, 2B, and HB. And I also used a mechanical pencil, and I added gel pens to some of them. Towards the end, I did kind of experiment with color pencils, but they're not really the best quality. They're like these color erasable color pencils by Crayola. Let me see. They're not really meant for like any serious art supply stuff. They're really made for kids to kind of just play around with, and they're not as good as a regular Crayola color pencils either. So I did kind of struggle with that, but I really just kind of wanted to get the idea out there and focus on that. I did share some stuff on Instagram. If you guys follow me on there, at Spooky Dark Girls, like that Instagram account, I did share like my 10 heads a day progress, but I'll kind of show a little bit on camera, and then I will link a blog post below where I'll just like have everything out in order by the day, and kind of talk about different things I focused on and everything. I don't have any footage of me actually drawing, because most of the time when I did the 10 heads challenge, I was drawing like in between breaks at work, or like sometimes I would draw like in the Uber ride on the way to work, or just kind of like watching TV or whatever. So I really couldn't just like take out my camera and like set up or anything. Also, I'm using the webcam that's attached to the computer, so I'm not gonna really be lugging that around. And the camera on my phone isn't really all that good. I can take some decent pictures with it, but as far as video goes, it's really not that great quality, and it has a time limit of like 5 minutes, so I won't be able to record videos like I do on YouTube. And whenever I have incorporated videos taken with my phone into some YouTube videos, it always has that sort of vertical barrier, and everything looks super small and kind of like blurred out a little bit. So yeah. So day 1, I did quick sketches. Like I watched a YouTube video, and then I just which was about 10 to 12 minutes long, and then I just kind of drew within that 10 to 12 minutes, and kind of just wanted to get the idea of different faces and structures. I didn't really finish any of these. I just wanted to get the idea out there and just kind of get it out the way. Day 2, I started off doing those quick sketches again, and then I realized I kind of suck at drawing noses. So on part of one page, I just kind of started drawing noses, and then I went back to sketching, and then this time I spent about between 3 to 5 minutes with each drawing. I'm gonna try and capture this as best as possible, but if you guys are having trouble, then I will like incorporate pictures below in a blog post. Day 3, I spent about 3 to 5 minutes per drawing, but I finished these. I wasn't trying to do any quick 10 to 30 second sketches. I kind of focused on details. I wanted to experiment with different facial expressions, open mouths, smiles, a girl blowing a bubble, and incorporate different hairstyles and earrings and all this other stuff. So it started off pretty rough, but then towards the end it started to get a little bit better. Okay. Let's see. Day 3. Okay, so like on day 4, I spent a little bit more time on drawings, but still kind of struggled a little bit with different facial expressions and stuff that I'm really just not used to. So it kind of just helped me to understand my strengths and weaknesses and what I like and what I don't like, what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, and what needs a little bit more practice. So some of these look a little bit awkward and wonky to me, but I still like this challenge because it's just, I don't know, I found it really fun and challenging. And then here's more from day 4. Okay, so on day 5, I took a Skillshare class on how to draw portraits, but I really wasn't interested in the shading techniques with pencil. I just don't like shading with pencil. I don't like using, 5 to 10 different pencils just to shade or just to draw. Drawing to me has just become sort of an outline for my paintings, and that was the whole point of the challenge, is to try and make my paintings a little bit better. So I did, kind of focus on shading a little bit, but I really didn't put that much effort into it, to be honest with you. And I didn't like her gridding style. Like, I always grid before drawing, and I use the rule of 3s, and then I divide it in half by horizontal and vertical. So it's, it's still the rule of 3s, but I still have a good idea where the half parts are. And the way she did her gridding was just, she did it by each and every inch. And I found that way to be not really efficient for me, because she did it according to, if you're working on a full-size sketchbook, that's 9 by 12, which is the average size of my watercolors. But most sketchbooks are like, that are big, are like 8 by 10. And the sketchbook that I'm working on, it's a mini sketchbook. It is 5.5 by 8.5. So if I'm working by inch and I'm trying to convert the inches that I'm seeing on the screen to the inches that I actually have, it just doesn't quite work out. So I just stick to the rule of 3s. And this is more from this is day 5. Okay. I also feel like I really struggle with drawing small faces because I'm used to drawing bigger faces. And if I'm trying to just kind of do a quick grid of the basic facial structures by marking, where the eyes, lips, and nose are, and the ear, I don't quite get the same measuring as I would if I did a full size and I gridded it. So some of these facial proportions are really off. And then here's the drawing that I did in the Skillshare class. I think I did a little bit too heavy on the neck, but the face is okay. And I'm not the best at drawing hair, but I definitely got, a little bit of progress. And then here's more from day 5. Actually, it's starting to get a little bit darker, so I'm going to pause this video and turn on the lights a little bit because the sun is starting to go down. Okay, I'm back, and it's a little bit brighter. So sorry if some spots in the video earlier were light and some spots in the video were dark. I am using natural light, and the sun is starting to go down, and clouds are kind of moving through. So I will try and edit this video to make those spots brighter. But if not, bear with me. Okay. And then here's day 6. I started off drawing a bigger picture, but then I changed my mind, so that's why there's a vertical line in the middle. Okay, we're going to turn this upside down because the faces are kind of all over the place. Just this one girl, and then kind of do faces around that. This girl is from this challenge I saw on Instagram. You know how people do those draw this in your style challenges? I was gonna draw that, but then I kind of changed my mind and just turned that into one of the heads that I was gonna draw for the day. And then I started practicing lips and noses. And I found that there is a way that I prefer to draw noses versus the way that other people have tried to teach how to draw noses. I just kind of like to keep things a little bit more simple. I don't really try and like do anything too realistic because I'm not very familiar with like the very subtle curves of the nose and the nostrils and all that good stuff. I just like to kind of keep things a little bit simple. So I did kind of discover that I do have my own style and my own preference when it comes to drawing certain things. And this is day 7. And here's more from day 7, and this kind of shows improvement a little bit. Day 8. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so day 8, my hands were freaking tired and cramping up, so I only did like 5 heads, but I did make up for it by doing the extra 5 on day 9. So this is all I did for day 8. Okay, and this is the start of day 9. Tried to experiment with a variety of hairstyles and different angles. Day 9 again. And there's another day 9. There's more from day 9. This is the last one that I have. And then day 10, I did do a little bit more. I sealed this with watercolor to help keep the graphite from spreading to the other page on this one. And I experiment with drawing men. And I drew 2 men, and then one is like a half. Is a drag queen, but it was like half is like a masculine face, and the half is like a feminine face. Just to kind of show like a before and after makeup. And like the person behind it. My dogs are barking right now. I'm so sorry if you guys can hear that. And then this is a drag queen I drew from the internet. I did use Sharpies to help with the eyeliner and stuff, and then kind of got to the other page. I forgot that when you work with markers, you have to put a page in between pages to keep from ruining your other pages, so that was on me. This is the girl I drew from Instagram. She was wearing a shirt that said Netflix and chill, but I just changed it to Netflix and kill because I just thought that would be more edgy and cool. This girl kind of has her face smashed like this, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And I did grit these, so you see some gritting remnants. Okay, this is a doll, and I had to mark that it was a doll because the proportions aren't very human-like. Like her neck is way too skinny, and her shoulders are way too small. But I figured, you know, a doll would count in this 10 hits challenge. And, you know, you can kind of do what you want with it. Let's see. Where are the last ones go? You're another girl, but she's somewhere else in my sketchbook. hiding. Okay, here's another one from day 10. And the very last sketch I did on day 10, which is like a quick sketch because after kind of putting in so much detail into the other drawings all in one day, pretty much back to back, my hands were very tired and I just decided to do this really quick little sketch right here. And I didn't really focus too much on details or getting everything right. I just kind of wanted to get a better idea. What I learned from this challenge is that I suck at drawing noses. I suck at drawing like open mouths and different facial expressions. I need to practice more of my body anatomy because for the past year or two I've been painting mainly portraits and drawing more mainly portraits. So when it comes to drawing bodies and trying to capture different outfits and poses and different varieties, my ability is really lacking in that department. I also learned that I don't draw things the way I guess you're supposed to, and that comes from having a background in drawing manga anime stuff before I even started watching anime. I drew that simultaneously with drawing more human anatomy. But, you know, most of the body proportions and stuff that I drew, the face proportions, I felt like it was easier to learn in the anime and manga books than it was in the how to draw people and human anatomy books, because it marked all the different points and it explained the proportions and it explained different styles and, you know, different ways that people draw depending on the way that the story is told. And only recently I've just started to learn more about anatomy from like a more human perspective. And most of the things that I learned how to draw when I first started drawing like 10 years ago was very like, it was like these really tall skinny people or like these really short skinny people or like chibis and stuff. I didn't really learn how to draw animals or buildings or landscapes or backgrounds or flowers or anything that would make my art a little bit more interesting instead of just the subject. And it just gave me a little bit more perspective on where I am with my work and how to bridge the gap so that I can make it better and where I want to be. And yeah, this was a fun challenge. I do appreciate it, and I feel like the next challenge I want to do is the 500 hands in 7 days challenge, or just a week, which could be 5 days or 7 days depending on your definition of a week, because I really struggle at drawing hands. Like, I can draw hands from certain angles, like if they're holding something, or if it's balled into a fist, or if the hand is kind of curved onto something. But when it comes to drawing hands in different styles and different positions and like to communicate different things, I'm kind of lost when it comes to the basic structure of it, and I want to practice on that because I want to draw girls with hands and doing things, and I don't want to just stick to portraits. I love portraits, they're fun, and I feel like they're a nice comfort zone that a lot of artists start off with, but I don't think it's where I want to stay with my work. And I just want to paint girls doing things and going places and have interesting backgrounds and interesting places and mythological creatures. When I first started painting, that's pretty much all I drew was mythological creatures. Not even from like art books and stuff. Some of them were like, I had the how to draw zombies and then how to draw vampires book, but a lot of times I would just draw different mythological creatures and aliens and monsters based on my own imagination and kind of go from there. When I first started painting, I wasn't really painting with the intention to learn how to paint. I was just painting just to express myself and just to have a creative outlet. I wasn't really painting with the intention to better myself and look at my flaws and improve and move on from there. So I think that because I am drawing and painting with the intention to improve and with the intention to sell my work and be more professional, I look at it more critically, and that's why I've been a little bit unhappy with my work and I haven't been posting about it a lot. But yeah, I encourage other artists to try out this challenge. I think it was pretty fun and it was eye-opening. It'll teach you what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you need to work on, what you need more practice with, and I would like to try other challenges to try and improve different things like hands and noses and body proportions and such. And I think I might redo this challenge with painting and watercolor because I want to try out different shading techniques. I'm always learning different things, and there's always different ways that I just like to capture things. I don't have any one way that I like painting. I don't have any one way that I like to do skin tones. I don't have any one way that I like to draw people. You know, sometimes I draw people and I make the proportions a little bit off based on, you know, me wanting to have a more stylized look. Sometimes I draw things and I really try and get the details as best I can, but then, you know, not stress too hard about it and kind of go from there based on, you know, my imagination and whatever it is I want to create. I don't really like drawing realistically. I don't like painting realistically. I feel like it's way too stressful and it takes away from my creativity. I feel like I'm not allowed to imagine what I want things to look like and be open to the possibilities of creation because I'm too fixated on trying to get every little thing exactly like the picture or every little thing exactly like how it is in life. And I just want my art to have a balance of realism and fantasy and imagination and all that cool stuff. I haven't showed any paint with me videos in a while just because I don't have the right camera to capture things the way that I want to, and I want to be able to get better details and better quality, and I haven't been able to upgrade to the camera that I want to upgrade to just yet. But maybe I'll be able to do something soon with my boyfriend's new phone. Whenever he's home, I can paint and borrow his phone for that. And I did that for a playing with me video recently that I haven't posted yet. But yeah. Okay, I'm starting to ramble, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting me, and see you guys later. And if you're an artist or if you're interested in getting into art, I think this is a good challenge to try just to kind of see where you are and where you need to improve and go from there. Bye.